Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here, what you're seeing on screen is the second half, or one of the second half 2024 cities that's been scored. And this is my market, El Paso, Texas. So, what I wanted to talk about in this video is if you look at the rankings now, Verizon came in at number one, right? Outright number one. AT&T came in at second, and then T-Mobile's now in third place. That used to not be the case. In the first half, T-Mobile was in second place quite decisively, and then AT&T was in last place by, I would say, a quite significant margin. So what I've seen over that period of time from the first and the second half, and you guys have seen it too on the channel, I've seen a lot of new C-RAN by AT&T, a lot of optimizing, a lot of C-band and DoD being deployed on the network, a few new sites here and there. And just like that, AT&T is back in second place. It didn't take too much, and they still have more coming. AT&T still has a ton more C-RAN that they're going to deploy, which is going to really tighten up and densify the grid. They still have C-band to add to the C-RAN, right? We can't forget about that. And then they still have about 20 or so towers that need C-band and DoD. So AT&T is going to improve even more during this period now that we're going to transition from the second half to the first half of 2025 testing. T-Mobile's got work to do. I'll be very honest. I have not seen that much of an investment from T-Mobile. They added, all sites have N41 that were planned. There are some sites, very few, maybe like 2 or 3 that don't have N41. They added one site last year on a hotel. I remember that one. And this year they're getting ready to fully modernize another site on George Dieter that they haven't touched with N41. And then here and there, sporadically, they add N41 to a strand mount here or there, which is a small cell. But they haven't done anything where I can tell you guys, hey, T-Mobile added 30 new small cells. T-Mobile added 6 new sites. That has not happened. But in that same time period, AT&T is just adding more and more and more and more stuff. And it shows on the rankings. It shows clear as day. And like I said, that's just the beginning. AT&T is getting ready to reinvest some more. And Verizon, they just added those 10 new macros across the military base. They filed for like 4 new sites in the city. They're doing small cells. I mean, they're not stopping. So the only one that's really not deploying much of anything is T-Mobile. I got to be honest. I can't tell you. I think there's one new site that I think they filed on Donovan somewhere on the west side. But other than that, there's not much where I can sit here and tell you guys, hey, in 2025, T-Mobile is going to add 5 new sites, 30 new small cells. With AT&T, I can tell you, looking at the permit log, they're getting ready to add like 50 new C-RAN in 2025. They're getting ready to add like six new towers in total. 2 of them are coming this year, another 2 next year. They're adding some much needed capacity for one, and then they're fixing null sectors with the C-RAN and some much needed capacity on the new macros. So, and of course RSRP and everything else. So this is a very interesting report. I look forward to first half of 2025, of course. I would like to see T-Mobile do just a little bit more, right? I don't know what else they might have planned for this year, because I don't see anything in the permit log, and it's still early in the year. But other than, if they start adding C-band, okay, so be it. That's another boost that the network will see. But I don't know if they have that in the plans for 2025. And I don't see a lot of permits from last year that are new sites that are going to make it into this year. Right? With Verizon, there's like 4 or 5 sites that I know are going to be built this year. And those C-RAN and all that stuff, I know for AT&T are going to be built this year. So the more that T-Mobile sits there and doesn't do much, right, the further they potentially fall behind, right? And I know there's 5G Advanced that just launched for T-Mobile, and I know they're doing voice over NR and they're tweaking that, and then there's still that C-band piece, and I know there's still going to be refarming that's going to make it into this year. I'm sure the N66 will probably get refarmed and move to 5G. So I understand that part, but there's still a lot of infrastructure that T-Mobile should be adding, in my opinion, to stay ahead, right? To further densify and fix certain areas. And I know for a fact there's areas that need fixing, right? That AI model they're using, it can tell them all they want. I know for a fact there's an area not too far from where I'm at right now that needs a site, right? Inside the Walmart, T-Mobile, not that great. They should have kept the Sprint site. They decommissioned it. It was a mistake. That's an area they need to fix, right? That's a tower they could add to make the network better. There's several other areas that they need to fix. So that's what this report is showing. It's showing T-Mobile has work to do. And it can happen just within 6 months. It can happen that quick. You fall to third place. And I've seen that on several other cities on this reporting. So T-Mobile, just a shout out, don't rest. You have to keep going and continue to build your network. If not, you're going to just fall behind the competition. But we called that very early on. I called it. I said, eventually, right, once the investment comes and everything else, T-Mobile will fall back to third place, right? Because AT&T and Verizon are just coming aggressively and they want to build out the spectrum, and they want to do everything they need to do to get ahead, right? Stenky said it. We want to build fiber, and we want everything hanging off the fiber, the C-RAN, the macro, and we want to own it. So let me know your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all in the next one. Peace.